So, what inspired you to start working with content creators and video agencies to begin with then?
So after being in the agency world for around 6, 7 years, um, naturally working on set, bringing in other filmmakers, working with other creatives, I'd always find I'd have the most fun with them. Like we'd have real deep chats on set about composition, content, all sorts, gear, and I think working in the agency space, we did some really good numbers, worked with some amazing people, but I found myself starting to feel like this really wasn't my path, or it wasn't my purpose, it wasn't my people. As I said, worked with some amazing people, really interesting, very, very intelligent people in like the online education space, typically mentors, educators, and that's where we carved out our niche in the last agency I had, which was Iconic. Um, but I always had this pull to want to do mentorship and want to help, and I just didn't really have the clarity on who I wanted to mentor. So after working with lots of creatives, bringing them in for team and support and freelance, um, I decided that actually I want to help these people. And I first did a beta launch during COVID where we took on about 10 creatives. We called it High Paid Creatives. We did a workshop. And that was the first iteration. We did it for 12 weeks and then was like, right, great experiment, helped some people out, but it was like back to focus on the agency. And it's only been the last 2.5 years where, maybe 3 years, where I've took more of a, the last 3 years took more of a casual step where I'm going to open the doors privately, mentor some people. And then I'd say the last year it's been more of like building infrastructure, working and mentoring different videographers, content agencies. I mean, I've worked with animation designers to interior architects, but I've generally found that the clients that I generally attract into mentorship are content creators. They're creating content.
Do you feel like you'd found your tribe in that aspect?
I think I found my tribe. I found my people because mentorship calls, we can talk about lots of different stuff and it's just a really good energy. Like we were out in Ibiza, like a few weeks back. And that's like the first time I've done, it's not the first time I've done a retreat because I did a retreat in Bali, but it's the first time I've done a retreat for the compound creators. So doing that in Ibiza, we went paddleboarding, we filmed, we hiked, had a laugh, created content, talked business, did a mastermind session, and just worked on people's businesses and the problems. And it's just fun, man. It doesn't feel like work. It just feels like fun.
So, I know you've had a background in obviously working in fitness and stuff, but like coming into the video creator sort of aspect, do you find that you've had sort of similar problems to some of your clients, such as like undercharging or sort of burnout, trying to chase leads and things like that?
I think if you're driven in business, you are naturally going to burn out because you don't know where your limits are until you push them, right? So I always think about business as a pendulum. You kind of got to see how far it swings one way before you have to pull back. So definitely burnt out multiple times for different reasons. Sometimes you burn out because you're uninspired by the work that you do. Sometimes you burn out because you're just pushing it too much. You're trying to aggressively build or aggressively scale. Um, Undercharging, yes and no. Like I learned a lot of lessons in my first business because in that business 12 years ago, we implemented a high ticket model, we implemented an expert model. So in terms of marketing and sales and having a higher price point offer, I perfected that in that business.
Did you feel like that carried over into creative as well?
It did in the agency world because the agency world was naturally like taking what we'd learned in that business, and then I partnered in another agency who was already doing that. So they were based in Canada. So there was a lot of crossover in effectively selling high ticket services. But when I decided that I was going to pick up a camera and when I was going to learn to film, and I started taking on projects that was just me fulfilling, which was great for margins because I think some of my first few projects I charged £4,000 to £6,000 for, which were like anything from like a 1 to 2 day production. But there were times where I blindly just sold video because I'm like, I want to create this content, I want to create video. And whenever you just try and sell the thing that you're doing, ironically, you're always going to leave a lot of money on the table because people don't buy into video and they don't buy into hours on set. What they buy into is a product or a service that is solving a specific problem. So I undercharged at points where I deviated from the idea of selling packages and selling results. And also you sometimes you got to work with quite a few different people to find who you actually want to work with. Like it's really common. So being burnt out was probably a combination of taking on a few too many projects where I wasn't as passionate about it as I should have been.
What would you say the turning point was for you where things finally clicked?
There's been a few turning points, but I remember one time where I um, went to Bali, ended up being there for 3 months, and I was filming a retreat over there, like this fitness retreat, and also just explored and had fun, right? And I remember whilst kind of towards the end of being there in Bali, I was still prospecting online. I was playing the online game. I mean, I've always played the online game for many years now. It's like you don't need to just look for clients in front of you. You've got the internet to gain clients. But closed the 10K project for a shoot whilst I was there. And that was a nice reminder of lead into results, lead into expertise, and help people achieve their goals. But that was doing it through the medium of video, right? And I think that was a big turning point because it was just like back yourself. I probably, because I've done a few different businesses, when I took the step to actually learn filmmaking for myself, there's probably times where I didn't feel like I was good enough, right? And I think if you don't feel like you're good enough, you're naturally gonna undercharge. So imposter syndrome, right? So my skill is that it's not because I know how to operate a camera or not because I just operate a camera. It's everything that goes with it. When you understand strategy, you understand messaging, you understand marketing, you understand how to help someone build a brand or build authority. That's a very potent cocktail.
Yeah, it's how to crack that nut, basically.
I think that was one of the turning points. But OG turning points is like not in agency. Like I remember building the gym business and working 12-hour days, sometimes more. I remember sleeping in the gym at one point because I was like working till 1, 2 a.m. to get something ready for this marketing campaign. Decided I'll just sleep in the gym because I needed to coach at 6 a.m. And woke up, had coffee. Did you know what I mean? Like this is way back, but like I was working hard. I was so focused on building that business. But that got to a point where it's kind of like make or break, right? I was like, I'm either gonna work my ass off and this is not gonna work, or I'm gonna do whatever's required. And I remember investing into a mentorship program that I couldn't afford, and I literally took the rent for the gym that I had in the account and I put it into the deposit. And I was like, obviously I needed that money, but I was just 100%. I'm just gonna fucking back myself. Did it, jumped into the program, learned some sales strategies. Within a week, closed a 1K sale, which at the time was big because it was a gym model. We were charging anything from 100 to 150 pound a month. So to then sell £1,000 offer paid in full, and then I did another one and another one, and then I tested it. I put it up to 1,200, 1,400, 1,600. Then I tested selling like the year up front. So we did like some 3K sales. That was a whirlwind, and within 6 months, I pretty much 3 to 4x the revenue of that business. That took me from driving a banged up Corsa to a brand new Audi in the space of 2 months. And it was really just understanding sales and psychology. And then obviously with that, I basically made enough money so I can right, I'm going to run marketing, do paid advertising, start building a team, put a salesperson in place.
Once you get that ball rolling.
Yeah, it's momentum. You just go, 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 go. And maybe it was divine timing because I'd worked really hard up until that point, and I'd been in mentorships that had kind of worked but not really worked. Like you'd kind of make some growth but no big growth. And then I went into that program, which is years ago now, and it just snowballed. It was just like momentum.
Did those first few wins really sort of push that confidence?
Yeah, because I always like say you're only ever one win away from momentum. So if you're someone who's maybe had a slow month or a slow few months or a slow week or whatever, like you're only one win away from momentum. You only need that one sale to be like, yeah, I'm back. And then another one and another one.
With a lot of creators, what would you say the big sticking point is for the being stuck at 15K a month?
With 15K a month, right, being stuck at 15K a month, that is probably still beyond where a lot of people get stuck. There's a lot of people that get stuck at 5. But if you're stuck at 15K a month, it's because you don't have systems in place and you don't have strategy in place. A lot of people without systems and strategy could still get to 10, 15K. If they're a hustler, if you're someone that works hard, like works all the hours, you can make a lot of money selling £500 shoots if you do shitloads of it.
You're going to be redlining on burnout.
Redlining, you're going to be editing, you're going to be back to back to back to back. You're not going to be living life. And there's no way of getting beyond 15K a month with that. And that's where most people are at, right? They're undercharging, they're overworked, and they're overwhelmed, and they're underpaid.
Marketing, that's the other thing, isn't it?
Then they're undermarketing because they don't have the time to do it.
Having said that, what would you say the biggest misconceptions are for creators with regards to sort of like marketing themselves?
That you need to do organic and paid, and it's not one or the other, right? If you're like, oh, you should just do paid, or you should just do organic, or paid doesn't work, it's all bullshit. Like, you should be leaning into whatever's required to grow the business. Trying to build a business just organically, in my opinion, is playing in hard mode. Trying to play the long game of just, I'll just earn my stripes and hopefully I'll get recognized one day, and then and it's like, that's a game of luck. That's like trying to play the celebrity model or the musician model where maybe one day you'll get discovered. So yeah, misconceptions are probably that it just takes time. It just takes time is bullshit. Like, things can be time, like building the business is not linear. It's not like, okay, at 12 months you should be at this level, and 2 years you should be at this level. Like, there'll be people that are 1 year in that are further ahead than some people 5 years in, right? So if you are not playing the game of building a business and you're just treating it like a hobby, or you're just trying to do your best work and just hopefully clients will come, like, that's playing it on hard mode. Like, you need to understand marketing and sales. You need to have systems in places to create leverage to grow. Otherwise, you'll just keep watching other people on Instagram crushing it, and you'll just be like, fucking hell, how have they done that?
What would you say when it comes to like most coaches, what's the biggest mistake they make when trying to help creators scale their businesses?
There's more and more there's shitloads of courses for filmmakers and creatives, and how to go full time or how to do this. And courses, in my opinion, are cheap ways of gaining knowledge, but they do not provide accountability. They don't provide real-time feedback. So it's kind of like, reading a book. You're gonna get from that book whatever time you put into mining and reading that book, but you're only gonna get from that book based on what you understand. So the power of mentorship is that you get real-time feedback, so you can learn something and you can get feedback and you can get it adapted in a way that suits your level of learning and how that fits. You can go watch something and try and learn it, but if it doesn't fit into your current reality, like, you can't see how that would actually implement into what you're doing right now. You're not going to be able to plug it in. So for me, like, how I mentor people, it's about adapting it and making it fit within the vision of what they're trying to build. There's a lot of mentorships out there. There's lots of courses out there. I can't comment on them all. What I do see in the industry is a lot of people that are, jumping into teaching people when they've only just learned a few things themselves. So it's like when someone's just talking about getting to 6 figures as a creative, and it's like they ran an agency for 6 months, right? Maybe they had a good month or a few good months, but it's like, you can have good months, but getting consistently good months. Like, it took me a long time to build the conviction to be like, yeah, I can get you to 20K a month. I can get you beyond that. And that was after consulting and working with businesses doing 7 figures, multiple 7 figures.
Do you feel like your like fitness coaching in the past has kind of like moved across into this with regards to sort of like the mindset, the accountability and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it's what makes it holistic, because like yesterday I was having like a chat with a client, and like starting to feel a bit burnout. He's got some, and it's more because he's got some personal stuff going on. There's stuff going on that he can't control. Like, there's stuff to do with family, and it's always a hard thing to juggle in business when there's stuff out of your control. But I was like, let's get back to basics. Like, what time are you going to sleep? What time are you getting up? Right? It's like, I'm struggling to sleep. I'm like, you're taking magnesium. Like, there's so many things you can do to just optimize your state and your recovery, which are basics, but sometimes basics aren't executed. So there's a huge crossover with like the holisticness of just being able to like guide someone. Um, and maybe also the reason I like mentoring and coaching people is because my first business was based around coaching people, because I love helping people. I love support. I love seeing people win. I love seeing people progress. Like there's something within me where it's like the underdog within me likes helping like the underdogs rise up.
I suppose with the coaching as well, like a lot of it is like not just lifting, it's concentrating on form and things like that, you know. So
Yeah, there's a lot of technical aspects to it. Yeah, definitely. It's like the perfectionist, right? Like you're just observing and like minute little details, and it's like yeah, which is really powerful in mentorship. That's like some things like I remember like some clients I've had before I was mentoring creatives. Like I was a lot of part of agency world was consulting with other coaches, consultants, and I remember client Ben. We'd done a shoot. We had him in. We did like a production, and we were in London, and we was having breakfast, and he was talking like he'd kind of hit a ceiling, and I think he felt like he'd maxed out some of the leads that was in front of him, and he's like, "What would you do in this situation?" And I suggested like, have you thought about doing a retreat? Like, because he's like, I've ascended these people to these levels. I was like, you thought about doing a retreat? And he's like, oh no, why would you do that? I'm just saying like, well, you've got a big pool of clients right now. I think if you put on a retreat, like 10-20% of those people will go for it. It's like there's the 80-20 rule where like 20% of your revenue will come from 8% of your revenue will come from 20% of your people. So I always just think within a room of 100 people, 20 people in that room will spend 10 times the amount of money. It will always happen. You'll always see it in all different things. So I was like, talked him through literally over breakfast how I would go position it to his clients. Week later, comes back, he's like, oh, I just added 20 grand. He's like, I'd like 6 people sign up already, or it's more like 8 people like paid deposits. And I was like, shit, bro. Like he's an action taker.
what would you say? So the big question is with regards to what we've been setting up, what is Compound OS and how does it differ from sort of typical courses? Or how would you round that off?
It is a multi-layered approach to developing and installing marketing and sales systems that creators can use to grow their business to tens of thousands of pounds per month. So we're combining AI with tech to streamline and automate processes that would otherwise take time. We have developed a software suite which includes templates, funnels, automation sequences, literally business in a box, which is designed for creators and creatives in mind, right? So if you're trying to market a content agency and you want funnels to run ads to, we built that within that. You want a call booking funnel that when they book in, they also get nurtured with case studies. We've got that. If you want to run ads and make sure when people come into the funnel, straight away they get an email, they get a text message, they get nurtured around this conversion event, that's built within it. There's also the ability to automate contracts and have contracts signed, the ability to automate and send reminders around payments. So if you're someone who's sending out invoices and having to check your balance, see if they've paid and send reminders, it's like that automates that. So the part of the OS, which is the tech suite, is about saving people time, improving their marketing so they can attract more clients and close more deals. The other aspects within it is just really about upskilling and developing the knowledge and the expertise to build a successful agency or a successful business. It might not necessarily be an agency, but for most people, it is going to be going from freelance to brand, business, agency.
Talking about that, do you want to cover sort of the pixel system and the flywheel system?
So the pixel system is a little bit of a secret weapon. So historically, if you don't have a lot of money to advertise, obviously we ran paid advertising agency in the past where clients were spending anything from £5,000 to £20,000 per month minimum. So there's a lot of money to play with, and sometimes when you play in the advertising game, you do have to spend a lot of money, which rules out a lot of people, because if you haven't got thousands to spend on ads, like you're like, well, straight away I can't run ads. But you can run ads with low budget, and the pixel system is about combining outreach with paid advertising. So you can pixel based on people that you outreach to. So if you're outreaching to people and you send them a proposal or a brief or a video or to any external link, right, where they're going to consume something, maybe you've done a Loom audit, whatever it is, you can pixel that, which means we can put them into your audience within Meta or other platforms like LinkedIn, YouTube. You can pixel them, so now they can go into a retargeting sequence. Now if they open your email or your message and they click your link, Now we can retarget them with the ads. And if we are spending $5, $10 a day, it's not a lot of money. It's enough money that most people can afford to spend on ads. It just creates omnipresence. So it creates the ability that someone comes into your world and now they stay in your world because they see your ads. And then if you combine that with other aspects like content and back-end nurturing and all the stuff within the OS, you're just increasing all those touch points, right?
Talking about scalability, can you tell us a bit about one of your clients, Josh, and how he's kind of getting over that sort of 25K a month threshold?
Yeah, so Josh came in when we very first worked together. He was stuck, burnt out at 5K a month, doing 3, 4, £500 shoots, lots of traveling, lots of back and forth, lots of editing, no real social life because you're just building the business, but he was trapped. And the first thing we changed was his sales process and how he pitched because that allowed him to double his price point. And then we dialed in his niche in, like who he's actually marketing to. And if we fast forward to now, his average customer spend is crazy because he's gone from 3, 4, £500 shoots one off to an average price point of £2,000 plus VAT per month for a 4-hour shoot per month. So a 4-hour shoot for nearly 2.5 grand as a retainer basis. Yeah, so his average customer spend is like 50 times what it used to be. And because of that, he's been able to build team, editing team, content manager. We're not even really running paid advertising. I've got a call with him. I mean, this might go out before then, but yeah, there's still a lot of groundwork. I genuinely believe he's got the legs to get this to 50K a month within 6 to 12 months. Yeah, he's a hard worker, but he's not just working hard; he's working smart.
What would you say your best clients do differently who are within the program?
They back themselves. They invest. They come into a program like this. They realize that they can't do it all themselves. That they need to gain knowledge and success leaves clues. If you want to learn to do something, learn from someone that's done it. And I would say beyond that, because they go into mentorship, because of from working and consulting with them, we're changing the sales process. We're changing the market and brand positioning. We're looking at their offer. We're looking at the content strategy. We're looking at the marketing strategy. We're creating support systems for them so that as they grow, they have the support to navigate the challenges of growth. Like building a business is not easy. Scaling a business is, it takes a rare breed of a person to go build a business to tens of thousands of pounds per month. So I think those that do it differently are choosing to back themselves and learn the skill sets and do the work that's required.
For somebody coming into the program, how fast can they see results once they install the OS?
So results are relative based on where someone's at, right? And I think it's important to say that because anyone that says like, oh, this is the generic blah, blah, blah outcome, it's like everyone's different. Everyone's at different points. So that's not to say results can't be instant or can't be fast, but some people are going to move faster, right? If you've got a lot of opportunity at your table right now, where there's potential clients you're working with, where you've undersold, where you could reposition a better offer, charge 2, 3, 4 times the amount, or move them to a retainer, that's like instant wins. If you've got a bad marketing strategy, but you've got an audience, optimizing your marketing strategy for your current audience means you've probably got loads of buyers on your radar right now, which means fast wins. If you're coming into an industry and it's a new niche and you need to go establish credibility and you don't have an audience, then there's more work required. I would say the clients that come in and I'm generally working with, they're already stuck at a certain ceiling. So a lot of the fast wins is low hanging fruit, changing how they sell so they can charge more money, which is normally pretty instant. It's normally like within a few weeks. And then building marketing infrastructure is obviously like a long-term strategy. Short-term wins, but long-term strategy. Without that foundation, you'll never grow. But obviously, you still have to put things in place. But with the OS, we are installing it. We've already done all the hard work. So it's not a case of you need to learn how to use these softwares for the next year, or you need to learn how to build all these different things, or you need to spend tens of thousands with people to get it built. Like we build it, we install it. Yeah, we've done the leg room. Business in a box.
Yeah. We talk about sort of building legacy whilst enjoying life. So, it's like something I wanted you to kind of touch on for other people, really, just to kind of explain that philosophy.
Yeah, like I've I've been in business now since about 2011. Started off with a fitness business. I mean, I ran raves and they are businesses. I had a print drop shipping company at like 16. So I was always quite entrepreneurial. Saying that because I'm like, there's always been things that I've worked on. Yeah, always like building things and turning it into money. And I followed the fitness thing because it was a passion, it was purpose, and I did that for like 5, 6 years. Built a team around it, achieved some things that I'm still really proud of to this day because they shaped who I am. But then I found that it wasn't my passion anymore. And I've been a partner in 3 agencies now. Two of them are very similar niches, and the last one's been different industries. So I think it's important to find what you love. I like Charles Bukowski quote, which is "Find what you love and let it kill you." Right? Having a vision of where you want to take things, in my opinion, is a non-negotiable. If you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there. And if you enjoy the thing that you're building, you'll scale it to the moon because you'll do whatever's required because you love it. So building something you actually enjoy, I think, is important because you'll never put the work in required to take it to its potential. And I think that I am still building legacy. I don't think I'm there yet. I think these moves that we're making with Compound, and the whole Compound suite is the part, like, is that kind of next step to the building blocks. There might be even more developments, and I'm sure there'll be more developments in the future.
Why would you say that sort of freedom's a core part of your mission with this offer then?
Because without freedom, what is life, right? Like, if you don't have the time to enjoy life and you're stuck behind a computer, are you really enjoying life? Like, you know, what's the point of making lots of money if you can't enjoy it?
Right. Would you say that this OS really unlocks that for creators then?
It's probably the only thing out there designed to help these guys in the depth that it does, with that reason of, like, the biggest bottleneck for people that make money as creators is they get super busy. So if you're super busy, how do you do more stuff to build? So installing this to free up time whilst increasing the amount of marketing opportunity and increasing the lead generation, it's basically helping them grow the business without them having to work more.
Right, right. Who would you say it's for and not for?
So I've designed this for those that are they already have the skills in what they do. They just don't necessarily know how to take it to that next level. They don't know how to build team, or they don't know how to um, structure their marketing systems. They don't know how to, um, yeah, for want of a better phrase, take it to that next level. They're stuck in the grind of doing good work, but they don't know how they can get more clients that will pay more for them to keep doing even better work. And it's for those guys. It's not for beginners. This is not something to teach you like how to go from working at McDonald's to building a 7-figure agency. Like, it's not that. It's not it's not a get rich quick program. It's a program that helps people that are talented fill the skill deficit in marketing and sales so they can actually turn their skills into a thriving business.
What are the next steps then for the people who are ready to level up, would you say?
So we run an application process where the first step is really casual. It's not a sales call. You're not jumping onto a call and you don't have to bring your credit card. It's literally a simple, quick conversation, simple back and forth, just finding out who you are, what you do, what you're trying to achieve. And then from there, that's how kind of quality check to be like, okay, yeah, I think that we can help. We can book you in. We'll chat. We'll run through the offer. We'll show you exactly how it works. And from there, you can make a decision on whether you're in or out.
What would you say to those who are kind of skeptical about the OS and the systems we got in place?
I think being skeptical is normal. I think there are a lot of sharks out there. There's a lot of people out there selling the dream. There's a lot of people out there talking about doing these kind of things that have never even done it. So to be skeptical is smart, but you've got to ask yourself, is what you're doing working? Because if where you're at right now isn't where you want to be, or you're feeling stuck and you don't know a path forward to get beyond that, then something needs to change. And I'm not here today because I read a book or I watched some stuff on YouTube. I'm here today and where I'm at today because I made bold decisions to back myself continuously, to learn and develop. And the best method of learning I've had is not from signing up to courses, it's by paying people thousands of pounds to pick their brain on how they're doing what they're doing. To put myself in rooms with people that are much smarter than me. Yeah, like the path forward is always going to be a byproduct of you working smarter and harder. So be skeptical, be smart, but you've got to question whether or not are you going to keep sitting in the comfort zone of when where you're at right now might not even be comfortable. Where you're at right now, you might be burnt out, you might be tired, you might feel like fucking hell, how do I even make this possible? Or it might be like things are good, but they're not great. Like they're good, they're comfortable, like make all right money, but it's not enough money to buy that house that I want, or it's not enough money to, or maybe it's like the freedom. Like for a lot of people, like if you are currently working a lot, but in order for you to take a holiday, like in order for you to be like, right, I'm going to Bali for 4 weeks to surf or do whatever, means that you have to like not take on work or like hope that your clients will push stuff back to give you that freedom, then you're, like, is that how you want to live, basically?
Yeah, yeah. Day to day. No, I appreciate it. Good chat.
Sweet, man.